noticed is that if people don't speak up about what's happening, then the cycle continues. And it's a huge worldwide epidemic, and especially with unsilenced voices, I've realized that internationally.
Michelle Jewsbury is the founder of a nonprofit group called Unsilenced Voices.
I felt a calling to do something more. Hey guys! Yeah! How we doing out there? Now I gotta check my time to make sure I don't go over. Where's Craig? Hey honey, how are ya? So hasn't this been an amazing couple days? Yes. Give Donna and Michael, Power Team, Eric and Craig, and Bill Walsh and Cheryl and everybody in the back a big round of applause. You know, I remember meeting Bill December of 2018, and he completely changed my life. And since then, I've been able to share stages with amazing people like Sharon Lechter and James Dentley and Kara Dentley and all these wonderful individuals in the room. And I just want to congratulate all of you for showing up and for being here, because it takes a lot to show up. And the one thing that I learned with Bill is you have to show up in order to blow up. Amen? Yes. So today I'm going to be talking about legacy. How many of you want to build a lasting legacy? Something that matters to your family, to your friends, even when you're gone, something that is left behind, something that you've built. Today I'm going to be talking about philanthropy and why incorporating a 501c3 within your business is good for business, and why people want to invest in you because you have that. All for under $1,000. Sound good, guys? But before I do, I want to give you a little background about who I am. Let's see if the clicker works. Yes. So I was born to two amazing parents. My mom and my dad were beautiful souls. My daddy was military, so I moved around my whole life. I lived in Hawaii, I've lived in Vermont, Los Angeles. I'm currently in Florida. How many people are in Florida? I heard a bunch. Yes, yes, yes. Yay. I love Florida. I love the weather. I love the beaches. It's great. But growing up, my mom and my dad were my biggest cheerleaders. They said, go girl, go. How many of you had supportive parents? If not supportive parents, supportive friends. And that you supported your other friends as well. Well, my mom was always my biggest cheerleader, and I remember when I wanted to be a varsity cheerleader, she said, yay, let's go. And I said I wanted to be an Olympic athlete, and she said, you can do this. And then I decided I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And she said, you got this. But my parents are no longer with us today, and I still hear them up in heaven telling me that I've got it every single day. So growing up, I was taught that we had to go to school to get a good education, to get a good job, to live the best life that you can. However, we're all entrepreneurs in the room, so we've either started our own businesses or are working on building a business. And I learned very quickly that I didn't like school. Although I went to school, I got good grades, I was a straight A student, I was National Honor Society, but I hated school. Hated school. How many of you are with me? You hated school? Well, I see a couple hands out there. So I had a love for theater. And I remember instead of school, I wanted to interact with people. And I decided to spend over 15 years in the restaurant industry interacting with people, because I got to sit down next to truckers and say, hey, how's that pastrami sandwich, and where are you from, and why are you here, and what are you hauling in that load? It was really cool to me to have conversations with individuals about what drives them and where they're going in life. But again, that wasn't exactly what I wanted. So because I loved theater and acting so much, I decided that my passion was to move to Hollywood, California, and become a movie star. So that's what I did. I went to Hollywood and I pursued and I acted in independent films and plays, and I thought that I was on my way to stardom because I loved the glamour and the glitz, but I really loved portraying characters that could overcome that could really make a difference. And then I ended up meeting somebody. This blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy swept me off my feet. And about 4 months into that relationship was the first sign of violence. And I didn't realize that I was going through a domestic violence relationship. I had no idea, because I never grew up with this, what I was facing. I ended up staying with my abuser for 4 years. And during those 4 years, I endured a lot. You know, Les Brown talked about how you can tell your story without going into nitty-gritty details. I don't think I need to do that, right? However, it's not about what you go through in your life. It's about how you overcome those traumas and the obstacles that you face. It's about building your legacy with your story. Now, how many of you out there have a big story that needs to be told? And I know a lot of you are already on stages telling that story. So when I escaped my relationship, I knew I had to do something even more. And I actually wrote and performed a 65-minute solo play about my experience in domestic violence called But I Love Him. And yeah, memorizing 65 minutes of dialogue is pretty intense, and I loved it. However, what happened next was what was miraculous. People started coming up to me and telling me their stories of trauma, depression, anxiety. We've been hearing statistics all yesterday and today about how many people are struggling with mental health. It was 83% of people right now, I believe Sharon Lecter quoted, that are struggling with financial stress and burdens. So I decided I need to do something again, even more, because your story matters. And I started a nonprofit organization called Unsilenced Voices. We're in 4 countries around the globe, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Rwanda, and the USA. And we have raised well over 6 figures this past year and have been able to gift over $33,000 to survivors in the US alone. But it's not about me. It's about all of you. It's about how you can build your lasting legacy and how you can make a difference. I learned from Angel Tussey that marketing was so incredibly important, so I began speaking on stages and writing books. My first book, But I Love Him, is my experience in an abusive relationship and how I got out. You know, it's not the pain, but it's the achievement, the overcoming. I'd like to gift this to somebody. However, I'm going to do it a non-traditional way, and I saw your hand go up first, so I do have an extra copy. Text the word legacy to 26786. The first person to do so, again, text the word legacy, Legacy, to 26786. Will receive this copy of the book. And then I got to speak at the Capitol. That was super awesome. I got to stand on the lawn and educate people about overcoming challenges, about building a legacy, about overcoming the trauma that we've faced, about how you can create a nonprofit organization to impact hundreds of thousands of people around the world, and how having a for-profit and a nonprofit is a very, very positive, lucrative thing. Now, Winston Churchill said, "We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give." What is your give back? How are you giving? Do you have a team of people to help you build that nonprofit, to launch, grow, or make it even larger? Do you have a team of people to help you with your business and strategy and business plan? I want to go over some steps on how you can build a lasting legacy. But I first want to show you how many individuals that you can recognize that all have nonprofit organizations. Why don't you? Is that something that you think you can do? Yes. Is that something that a team can help you do? Yes. If you don't want to start your own nonprofit, then make sure you have some type of philanthropic arm, something that you give back, because people will trust you before they trust your business. People will buy into you before they buy into anything that you sell. So what are you doing? Let me help you. So, well, oh, so many others. There we go. Yes. Come on, clicker. Come on, clicker. Okay, let's go through this one more time. Give this a round of applause. Pretty awesome, right? All of these individuals have created something phenomenal. Now, let's jump into the steps to help you grow a lasting legacy. Step one, you have to be passionate. You have to have passion for what you are doing. Whatever it is that you decide to launch, to grow, to build, you have to be excited about it. For me, I loved growing Unsilenced Voices. I loved the excitement. I loved going into Africa and seeing our girls make a difference in their communities, seeing our girls stand up on their own 2 feet and start to teach and train. And it's all because of the team. It's because I said yes to myself, because I knew that I had passion. What are you passionate about? Next, tenacity. Has anybody ever told you you can't do something? Right? Have you just wanted to tell them to go kiss your butt? Right? So I had a friend. I was in Positano, Italy. Let's call her Lisa. Her real name's not Lisa, but we'll call her Lisa. And I remember going up the stairs. Anybody been to Positano? I see a couple hands. So stairs. I mean, it's like miles and miles of stairs. And we had had one too many glasses of wine that night. And we both were hiking it up the stairs. And she was complaining and whining and a little intoxicated. But I remember I started talking about things that I wanted to do. I want to create this nonprofit to give back. I want to use my story to make a difference. First thing she said to me is, "You're uneducated. You don't have enough education to do this. You don't have business background. How are you going to start a nonprofit organization?" Eventually I said, "Screw you," and did it anyway. But so can you. Have tenacity. Say no to the naysayers. You don't have to listen to your broke cousin or your friends after work during happy hour tell you you can't achieve your dreams. We teach you all of this in our legacy course. We teach you how to create a lasting legacy and build a team around you that supports you. Next, take risks. You have to take risks. So Sage Adam here, he took risks in his life, and now he runs multiple millions, if not billions of dollars of revenue in multiple companies because he decided to take risks. Bill Walsh took risks. We are all here right now because of Bill Walsh. I can mention so many amazing people in this room that decided to do it anyway and take the risk. Because it's not a failure when you actually fail, it's a stepping stone forward. Each failure is just leading you closer and closer to where you need to go. Fail forward. There's a book. Anybody heard of John Maxwell? I know I've talked to a couple of people out there, yeah. John Maxwell, I remember I used to do Amway not too long ago, and I used to sit at the stage, the bottom of the stage, and I used to sit and just watch John Maxwell. Now this was about 15 years ago, and maybe longer. Oh my gosh, I'm aging myself. But it was amazing. John Maxwell teaches wonderful, wonderful lessons of life. And one of his books called Failing Forward was one of my favorite books for a long, long time. And it taught me that every failure is a stepping stone forward. And every failure for you is a stepping stone forward. And know that. And know that when you build a legacy, there's going to be obstacles. I mean, how many of us has experienced obstacles? I mean, every single one of y'all should be raising your hand because nobody's perfect. We all go through stresses. Things don't always go our way. How do you react to that? Next, work smarter, not harder. I'm sure you've heard that before. How do you work smarter, right? We give you all the tips, all the trainings in order for you to automate your business, automate the nonprofit, figure out how to attract that team. Work smarter. Don't put in 80 hours a week. You don't need to. Learn to delegate. Phyllis, right here, owns an amazing VA company. Delegate. Ask her. Talk to her about hiring a virtual assistant. It's so incredibly important to be able to leverage your time. You do not have to be a chief everything officer, right? Because that's what us CEOs sometimes tell us. But we can't do that. We can't use all of our time. We created businesses in order to create even more time to spend with the people that we love and want to spend it with, right? Yes? Thank you. Here we go. So work smarter, not harder. Next, attracting the right team. You are in the right room. I mean, Power Team International has changed my life, and I hope Power Team is changing your life. If you haven't attended Rainmaker, that's the first step to stay on Bill's radar, and I swear to you, he will help you. You just have to take that first step. Build the right team. With our Legacy Camp, we teach you how to attract the right team. Because it's not you going out and searching, it's you being able to attract the team that you need around you to propel your life even further. Get out of your own way. I know a lot of people in here came up to me earlier and they're like, well, sometimes I just think that I'm not good enough. Or sometimes I think that, I'm a fake. Don't fake it till you make it. Know that you are good enough. Get out of your own way. It's your own thoughts that's telling you this. Nobody else. And if there are people telling you this, what do you say to them? Kiss my behind, right? Tell them to get out of your life because it's your choice to stay in relationship with those people. Consistency. You have to be consistent. Whether it's in marketing, whether it's showing up, whether it is doing PR and press releases. I love Angel, where I don't know where she is right now, in the back. I love Angel. She has one press release and 2 stages, right? And I think that that's incredibly important to have because you have to be consistent. People have to know who you are. So be consistent in not only your marketing, but your branding and what you give back to. Because people pay attention. People are not going to invest in you, invest in your business, unless you are giving back. And this is why it's so important to have a philanthropic arm. And exposure. Of course, there is exposure. You have to be able to have a presence on social media. You have to get on stages. You've got to be able to eloquently put together a speech, even if it's a 30-second pitch. But you have to be able to get that exposure. Now, I know I don't have a lot of time left, so I'm just going to quickly go through these. We teach you all of this in our Legacy Camp. You guys can take a picture as soon as I'm done clicking through all of this. There we go. So these are tools for success. Bill taught me a lot of them, but from social media to PR, publishing books, I put in a thing around the S's, right? Because you want more than one. Filing your 501c3, making sure that you've got a Calendly or a UCAN book, content, videos. I have an amazing team from Sage right here filming right now, and it's so important to have those videos so you can then turn it into exposure. Fiverr, Zoom, mobile marketing. You heard Bill talk about mobile marketing. MobileX? Mobex Pro, yes, Mobex Pro. I use everything that Bill has sold for Mobex Pro because you need that type of marketing. Anchor and public speaking. So I can't talk about this, but we teach all of this in the Legacy Camp. Now, before I get into what exactly comes with the camp, I'm going to ask you why you do what you do. Why did you show up today? Why are you deciding to be different, to become or innovate and stay an entrepreneur? Why do you want to take the route that is less traveled? Why do you sometimes work the 80 hours a week and then learn to delegate later? What is your why? Why are you doing this? For me, My brother on the top left of that screen is my last relative that's super close to me. I want to make that difference for him. I love to travel. I love to drink wine. How many of you like wine? Yeah, whoo, exactly. I love wine. So whether it's drinking wine on a boat in Italy or drinking wine on a boat in the middle of the Mediterranean, scuba diving 3 times a day, I love to have fun. You know, Bill teaches a concept, faith, family, fun, or family, faith, fun, right? And fun is always in there. We have to celebrate. Angel talked about celebrating your victories. We have to celebrate. Why are you here? Why are you doing what you're doing? Let me tell you what comes in the Legacy Camp and why you want to be a part of it. You'll feel inspired every day. You're going to have a team around you. So this is an 8-week course. It's an intensive. And we teach you how to overcome challenges, have tremendous breakthroughs in your life, build, grow a nonprofit organization, give back to a philanthropic arm, wake up energized and enthusiastic, be excited for your life, have a purpose. You are on a mission. Have a purpose in your life. Life is not about waking up and going to a job from 9 to 5, going to pick the kids up from school, having a beer, watching TV, and going to sleep and doing it all over again. Have a purpose. Give back to something. I don't care what it is. There are so many injustices on this planet. You choose something. Make it your cause. Make your business have a cause. Have a purpose in life. Have even more fun. How many of you want to have even more fun? Yeah, right? Yes. Have even more fun. I love fun. Have fun with me, right? Live your best life possible, all while creating your legacy. So, let's talk about the nitty-gritty details. Come on. Beep. This thing is very, finicky. Okay, I'm just going to stand right here. So this begins December 28th. So it is a virtual but live 8-week course. We cover, come on, tapping into your passion, filing and compliance. Has anybody ever wanted to start a nonprofit organization? I see a couple of hands. We cover all of that. How many of you have an existing nonprofit and they want to grow it, scale it, right? So we teach you how to do that as well. Come on. Marketing and exposure, so that whole list that you guys took a picture of that I didn't have enough time to go over. We teach you how to market yourselves, how to get on the right platform, build your team, attract your team, fundraising and profit building. How many of you, like Bill says, are $1 million shy of what you need right now, right? So we teach you how to attract the funding. Especially with nonprofit work, you have donors. With business, you have investors. Why am I going to invest with you, and who do you give back to? Building your business plan, which is essential, and pathways to success. So we show you how to be mega successful. And then launch, grow, and build a nonprofit. Now this is hard. However, when you have a nonprofit or a philanthropic give back, people will invest in you. I will guarantee you will save money, save time, and have even more customers by having a philanthropic arm. Learn the tools you need to be successful and the techniques that you need to improve your self-worth. Change old habits. How many of us have old habits that we need to change, including myself, right? Change old habits. Increase your self-confidence. And then be able to grow to whatever you choose to do. Now it's valued at $8,000, but today only it's $997. And Bill talked me into also throwing in my in-person boot camp. So this boot camp is a 2.5-day boot camp live in Clearwater, Florida. I do this twice a year. This retails for over $12.97 alone. So these two things together are only $9.97. I've got a team back there that has forms. I'm only looking for about 10 people. More than 10 people, it might get a little tight, and I want to give you one-on-one time because I think that you need it. right? We all need that one-on-one time, and you don't want to be in a huge room or a huge Zoom call and you're not actually getting your questions answered. So go ahead, and we're going to be taking a couple-minute break here, right? Bill said a couple-minute break. Yes? Okay, perfect. And I'll be in the back. So thank you guys very much.